my body. Every size, every line, every girl, every guy, everybody who don't identify.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello. My name is Loey, and today we are on the road because I am going back to the Queen Mary. And I feel like this is such ominous lighting, like this lens flare in the background. It's so funny because the last time I was at the Queen Mary, I was wearing this shirt and I didn't really think about it until I picked out my outfit. So totally not planned, but today we are going back because I was invited to go on basically like a professional ghost hunting experience, which I thought could be so cool for a video. So actually, Ashley and I, hi Ash.
Hello.
We are going to be staying the night at the Queen Mary as well. So it's been kind of a hectic day. We're going to get to where we're going, and I am just excited to bring you guys along for the journey. I can't believe we're going back to the Queen Mary finally. It's been like a year. But first, let's talk about how all of this came to be in the first place. Illusions of the Past is a theatrical seance that incorporates elements of both magic and the paranormal into an experience like no other. It's hosted by Aiden Sinclair, a master magician who has appeared on the likes of America's Got Talent, who also just so happens to be a paranormal investigator. While I could not bring you guys in for the show portion of the evening, I did take a moment to sit down with Aiden Sinclair and pick his brain on all things magic and ghostly. I wanted to introduce you all to Aiden Sinclair.
Hi,
and
guys.
Aiden's show here on the ship is called Illusions of the Past.
Yep.
And you incorporate both, is it fair to call it magic, along with paranormal?
It
in your
is,
shows?
yeah. It's kind of one part history, one part ghost story, and a
Right.
little bit of illusion all put together. Initially, I did traditional kind of sleight of hand stuff for a very long time,
Yeah.
and at one point I was approached by a domestic violence shelter to do magic for them. And they were trying to raise money for the shelter, and I thought it was an amazing cause, and I immediately was like, yes, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, magic usually takes people away from reality, and when you're trying to raise awareness for such a crucial kind of subject, it didn't feel right. So I went back to the shelter and said, look, instead I'd like to write a show, and then we'll just do that, and whatever we make, that's what we'll give to the shelter. So it became this much more emotional kind of a paranormal show, because I wanted people to have a real experience. When you use your art to make people have an emotional experience, it becomes more important. So
That's incredible. I loved that you brought in the historical aspects of the Queen Mary and talked about the real people who had real tragedies strike them.
Yeah.
On the ship. And I think I was definitely one of those people who knew of the ghost stories and who knew of the different, experiences and specters maybe that people had seen, but had no idea, how deep it truly went, and that sometimes those aren't even the real people who had tragedy befall them in such a way.
And the thing is too is Jackie's probably the most famous ghost in the Queen Mary, but we know for a fact no child named Jackie ever died. But that doesn't mean Jackie doesn't haunt the ship.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that always kind of cracks me up is people kind of have these experiences, and a lot of people who come looking for ghosts are so fixated on the dead they forget about the living. They associate ghost with bad. And I don't think it has to be that. The Queen Mary is a place where, people had their honeymoons, people fell in love here, they had their very first kiss here. And wouldn't those be great moments to just spend eternity in? I loved history, and I think it's better to tell a story about the place that you're at. What's crazy about this, though, is that I developed a style of magic and started performing this, which naturally led me to performing in places that have a certain history that were historically haunted places. So initially, go back to probably 2011. I was super skeptical because as a magician, I know what I can create, and I have great friends that had paranormal experiences, and I believe them. I believe they had seen something, but I had nothing happen to me. But then I started spending a majority of my life in places that were haunted, and I started having stuff happen that I couldn't explain. And the more those things would happen that I couldn't explain, the more I was like,
You're like, well, maybe there's a little bit of something to that.
No, it's huge. So the first thing that ever happened to me is I stayed in this place in Port Townsend, Washington, and I got in really super late at night. I emptied out my pockets and just threw everything on the dresser after traveling. And I was wearing a shirt that was like a tuxedo shirt that had studs on it. So I just kind of threw the studs down and threw my change down and my earbuds, and I went to bed. It was this little teeny tiny room. I used to be a Marine, so I don't go that deep into sleep. You can't.
Right.
If somebody walked into my room, I would wake up.
Yeah.
I just don't sleep that heavy. I wake up the next morning, I get up, like, and go to the bathroom, but as I'm walking past the dresser, I noticed that everything that I had thrown on the dresser had been moved. My change that I know for a fact I
Right.
threw it down, was stacked up like a pyramid. It had like the quarters all the way up to pennies.
Oh my God.
My earbuds that were in a knotty little pile were pulled out in a straight line. Like somebody had laid them out, and the shirt studs were in a nice line.
Yeah, you like walked into their space and they were like, okay,
It
look.
messed
Like,
me up. It really messed me up because I stood there and stared at it for like
Yeah.
5 minutes. So like it messed with my reality.
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I knew I didn't do it, but part of my brain was like, did I do that? No, I didn't. Why would I do that? I did not do that. I know I didn't do that.
I love that.
So,
I love
it
that
was a
there's
trip.
like, there's those moments that it's like you can't explain it away, or like
Yeah.
there's that confirmation of, you know, I know I didn't do this. I know exactly what I did with this. And almost that kind of like, am I crazy? Am I losing it?
Yeah, and
But
then you try to explain it to somebody and you sound like a lunatic.
Obviously, during the show, you know, I walked in and wasn't entirely sure what to expect, and I
Yeah.
think anyone visiting would feel the same way. But do you ever have experiences where maybe things like get moved around that aren't supposed to
Oh,
get
God,
moved
yes.
around or anything during
Yeah.
these shows?
We have had, so we've been here for a year.
Mhm.
Every week that we've done the show, something has happened on the show.
Yeah.
And in our space. Sometimes it is something getting moved. Sometimes it's something in a glass case in a museum that nobody can touch. That we come in and it's been turned around, and you can't. I'm the
You
only
just
one
can't,
that's got
yeah.
keys. We had a sold out night that all the seats were taken up. Yet this woman ended up with an empty seat next to her, and at the end of the show insisted that her father came and sat in that seat for the extent of her show.
That's incredible.
We had our
Wow.
bartender one night that at the end of the show, it's a very intimate theater, so if someone was to get up and leave during the show, there's no way to leave the theater without either me or my assistant seeing it. And one night we exited the show and we came out and the bartender was like, "What, did that guy not like the show?" We're like, "What guy?" She's like, "Oh, the guy. There was this guy that walked out like 10 minutes into the show." And I was like, nobody walked out. But we're pretty sure she saw a full-bodied apparition because
That's
there was
crazy. Yeah.
nobody left. There was no human being that she could have seen. And that person didn't acknowledge her, just literally just walked right on past her, say a word, and then was gone. And it wasn't until later that she was questioning whether or not she ever heard the door.
Yeah.
Because our door is really loud.
That's really
Yeah,
interesting.
it's a cool place. It
so
really
you
is.
never know what to expect. You guys, you can find Aiden and his show here at the Queen Mary from Thursday through Sunday during Dark Harbor. Thank you so much for having
Thanks for
us, and
coming out.
thank you for telling me all of these stories. I know I'm not going to sleep tonight,
Yeah, sleeping's
but I appreciate it. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you. Okay, so up top is a book and a little bell from the Stanley Hotel. This is from Stanley Hotel's room 217. This is so weird because I'm literally going there in like a couple of weeks. That's crazy. That's wild. And then down here are items actually from the Sally House in Kansas. The monkey was often said to be found in unusual places throughout the house. We just finished the show and it was crazy. We're actually about to start the ghost hunting portion. We couldn't film or anything during the show, but it was like wild. And you guys, if you are in the LA area, or if you are around Long Beach, or if you're making a trip, you have to come see it. I'll have information down below, but it was wild and there was so much confirmation throughout the whole show. But Ashley actually participated. Okay, so Ash is gonna tell you exactly what she did and like the experience that she had.
Myself and another girl got brought onto the stage and we had a key about this big. I'd say it's like six.
He was saying, I think it was used in like a graveyard. So it's a pretty big, like I think it was for like a padlock or something.
Yeah.
It was like pretty substantially sized.
It was a pretty large key, and the other girl and I, we both put our arms out toward each other.
Yeah, it
And
was
we had
like
our fingers like this.
they had their fingers pointed this way so that the key, the circular part, was resting on top like that, so that like it just balanced and they weren't moving their hands, like you guys weren't allowed to move, like nothing.
It felt like there was somebody standing in front of me, like, but sort of under me, like definitely a shorter person. I'm a pretty short
Right.
person, and it felt like somebody was turning the key from the bottom, like grabbing it like
So
this.
you could feel it in your hands.
There
like,
was a
moving.
pressure of it pulling down and it turning, and it literally turned all the way around until the key fell to the floor.
And now we're actually going to go in and do an actual like professional ghost hunt, which is going to be so fascinating to watch. I think if anything, like that show just like floored me to begin with. Like
My chest feels kind of like
I think I told you I was like shaking the whole time. I was like so jittery, so shaky. It was like the craziest thing I've ever experienced. So we're right below room B340 too. So we'll see. So Ashley, I forgot to tell you, 2 of us came in together, but actually only one of us will make it out.
Oh.
So
Well, tell my mom I love her.
We are really close to room B340, which is the most haunted room in the ship.
Right.
If you go around the corner, you will see the room, but you won't see the number. You know why? Because people keep stealing the number away to hold as a memento. If you take that number and you bring it home, nothing really happens to you.
no, man.
The ship has got so much steel in it, it doesn't really get great radio signal here in this room. So we use this to this pipe to basically turn the whole ship into an antenna for us. We do have a couple of things that we would ask of you while we do this. We try to assume that if something is here, it's a person that we're talking to, and we try to speak to them as people. We would ask you not to say things like, "How did you die?" That's probably not something somebody would want to really know, and maybe they don't even know if they've passed on or not. Normally when we do an investigation, we limit it to about 10 people, because we do like to have everybody introduce themselves. Obviously it's a large group, we're going to do that tonight. The ship sailed from 1936 until 1967. But that being said, a lot of people have the idea that somebody had to have died on the ship for there to be a ghost here. I don't really subscribe to that belief. The walls that surround you have been witness to as many happy moments as bad moments. 4 million people sailed on the ship while she was in service. Another 55 million have come to visit since she's been here. There are weddings, there are anniversaries, there are engagements. This is an extraordinary place. So I would try to stay away from anything dark. We try to be pretty positive, but we also try to keep things in that time context. If you want to ask, do you work on the ship? That's an okay question, not did you work on the ship. Does that make sense? So before you ask a question, kind of think it through and then let it go. Anything you hear, think you hear, get a sense of, just say it.
And say it loud. Hello, good evening.
Bad.
You know me, Aiden's over there, he's listening for you. He's gonna be your voice for right now. If you wanna talk to us tonight, we've got a lot of people in the room. If you know anybody's name, you can shout them out and say hi.
I'm okay.
Oh, good to hear. Is there anybody that works here tonight? Maybe someone that we've spoken to before?
I'm here.
Hi, who's here? You know, we have.
Hi.
Hi. Are you gonna join our party?
Purple.
Are you trying to talk to us tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. Who is this?
Philip.
Hi, Philip. It's nice to meet you. Was I correct? Is your name Philip?
It's easy.
Philip, if you're still here, can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up? I hate asking these questions.
2, 3.
Good job.
It's love.
3 is the number that I represent for love. Yes, thank you.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. Why do you know that?
No.
Philip, are you in love?
Hey.
Hey. How are you doing tonight, Philip?
You know.
Are you still here?
Hey, baby.
Okay. Did you finally tell us your name? We've talked before?
Hello.
Hello, baby. So we've had this before quite a few times. The first time we had Hey Baby, he was talking to a 13-year-old. That was not okay if that was you, Philip. You can't talk to a 13-year-old like that. Unless, are you under 18?
Definitely just her journey.
Philip,
14. Latest.
Philip, are you still here? How about how tall you are? How tall are you? Sorry.
Secret.
Why is it a secret?
Please. Breath.
What year is it?
Oh. Oh, hi. Is someone hanging out right here? What year is it? Did you like that question?
45.
Is it 1945?
George.
Is it 1945? Is someone a soldier on the ship? Is there someone here that's serving in the war?
Hey, baby.
Hey,
That's right.
So those flashes have been telling us that there's... Oh. You out?
I can only kind of listen to it for so long because you get a little loopy. But that's all you're listening to is like someone in your car turning the radio station like an idiot. Did any of that make sense at all?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, baby, might be Philip.
All right.
Oh, hi, Philip.
Did you get lights too?
Yeah, we've been getting lights. So those lights are telling us that there is a significant change in temperature, pressure, or humidity. When it's blue, that means a significant drop in temperature. When it's red, it's a significant hike in temperature. And then the yellow is pressure, and the green is humidity. So we have an SD card in there, and we'll be able to plop that into a computer later to look at a chart to see those significant changes and to see how much of a change. The thought behind that is that, you know, there is something that has entered that area that has changed the atmosphere. You know, and there was obviously, you know, why did the temperature suddenly change? Why did the pressure right there suddenly change? And so we add, with the theories, you add that up to those, to spirit, to someone that you can't see. Switched out. Kathy's listening for you now. She's up on the stage there. She's holding the device way up in the air, pulling the copper wire. I can hear you. Philip, are you still with us? Hey, baby.
Listen,
You're listening?
Jordan. Speak. Speak.
Is there someone named Jordan in the room?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to Jordan tonight?
Hi.
Is that the only Jordan in the room this evening?
Body.
What was that?
Body.
Kathy might still be getting used to listening for you, so it might be difficult at first.
Free.
It might take her a few minutes. Jolie's got a device she's holding.
Oh, she's going.
It's got a green light on it. Are you
Soul.
It's yellow.
Did you touch that green light over there? She's pointing at you. That's awesome.
Ghost.
A lot of people in the room tonight. Right here.
Hostess.
I am the hostess. That's what I do here.
I'm also a hostess. I
You
just
are?
got hired.
Oh. Are you dipping into some of our brains? I don't think I'm okay with that. Is there someone you're trying to connect with tonight? Did someone bring you here with secrets?
Rest.
It's going to yellow. It's going
Can you do
green.
that again? Can you make it go all the way up to red, please? It might take a little bit of energy. You have it face out just a little bit. Oh, keep going, keep going. It's okay. You almost got it. Can you make it go all the way up to red, please?
Single one.
Just 2 more lights up to red. Can you do that? If you can't do that, can I have
Nice.
You did do a nice job. You did pretty good. So if I have you touch it on the count of 3, can you do that? Just give it a little tap. 1,
Dun dun.
2, 3. So close, so close. So close. Pretty good. Pretty good. Good job.
3.
3. Good job. That was on your time. I got it. Thank you. Jolie's gonna stand up. Can she see how tall you are? Would that be okay? Okay. So Jolie, go ahead and stand up. Just kind of
Sit.
Did you sit down?
Oh.
Can you stand next to Jolie again? With the green light? She's not going to hurt you.
Sit.
The device isn't going to hurt you.
Sit.
We're all, everyone's sitting except for me and one other person. Is that okay?
Oh, sit.
She's sitting. We're all sitting except for me. Okay, are you trying now?
Sit. Sit.
Can I walk over there? I don't want to scare you. I'm not going to hurt you. Okay, I'm going to walk over there. Don't be scared. I'm going to move it so we can see it. This is what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. I want to see if you touch
Sit.
this.
Right there.
Oh.
Sit.
So this right here, I think if you touch it, it'll light up. So when it stops, can you touch it?
Stop.
It stopped. Can you touch it, please? I want to know if it works. I'm not sure if it does.
Of course.
Can I get out of your way so that you can touch the ball?
It's only right here.
Are you sitting behind me? I'm gonna walk away, okay?
Story.
Alright, I'm gonna go stand back by the pole. The other pole.
Bounce. Dun dun dun.
Can you touch that ball for me, please? Jolie's pointing at it. She's right next to it. If that doesn't work,
Touch.
so
Yes.
Okay, you touched it. Did it not go on?
Yes.
Okay, so the ball doesn't work?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
You're lighting up the green light because the ball doesn't work?
Slip.
How old are you?
Leg.
How old are you?
See that there?
Are we talking to the
There.
Are we talking to the same person as before?
Kick.
Since I can't see you, I have no idea.
Touch it.
You've been doing really good touching it.
Suspicious.
Are you suspicious of something? Nothing's going to hurt you.
See it.
Can you see that temperature?
Not yours, Philip.
What's not Phillips? How many people are here? We switched out. Jennifer's listening for you now. Some people are still here and interested in learning about you. Some people still want to meet you tonight. I hope you didn't take off. I hope you didn't get scared. What's your name? Who are we talking to?
Oh, wow.
There you are. Can you see how many fingers I'm holding up? I hate these questions. But it's just a way to
Kermit.
just a way to see if you're here. You might not be hearing
Toes.
You might not be hearing your voice.
Peace out.
I hope not.
Brother.
There's still people here to listen for you tonight. There's still people here that want to talk to you. Alright, I'm going to change how many fingers I'm holding up because maybe that was your answer, but I'm not sure. I'm holding up fingers again.
Stressing Isaac.
Stressing Isaac. If there's someone trying to communicate with us tonight, can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up?
5.
Did she just say 5?
Is it 5?
Thank you. Good job. All right. Now, how can we help? What can we do? What are you trying to tell us tonight?
Rattled.
Are you rattled? Jennifer's listening for
look.
What are we looking at? Can you tell us where to look? Nobody's here to hurt you. We're all here to learn about you.
Who?
You. All of us. We're all here to learn about you.
History.
Exactly. It's important to know our history.
Mom.
Is there something you can tell us tonight? Something that we should learn?
Lay back.
Is there something that you need to share with us tonight?
It's bullshit.
What's bullshit?
Baby. Gold. America.
What do you have to tell us tonight?
Stung. Trip. Freezing. Thank you.
Can you try again? That's good. I think Kathy missed it. That was a
So what?
Can you tell us your name?
Carl.
Is someone's name Carl? Or are you talking about Carl?
Eight. 6. 8. Yes. Pick it up.
Is someone working here? Are we interrupting?
You are?
We are here to talk to whoever would like to speak with us tonight.
States. Murder.
Philip, are you still here?
Your car. It's on it. Yes.
Hey, baby. You still here?
You and me. I can hear a woman and a man talking. 3. 7. Is this the key? It's too bad.
So that's one of the things that we keep getting in this
Bizarre.
when we do investigations is we keep getting obviously a mix
Scream.
of these intelligent conversations where you're like, oh my gosh, we're talking to someone, we're having a conversation, and then we'll have these experiences where it sounds like someone's still working,
3-0
someone's
on the
still
speaker.
doing their job here. We're just kind of listening in to someone's
Pretty loose.
shift life, you know? This would have been an area that her
Is it?
crew would have been in.
Me?
So it will sound like, you know, these.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Right. They're
Well, and that's where
Balcony.
these residual hauntings that we could just be picking up on like these scratches in our record that are just kind of repeating and telling their
So
life
good to see you.
where they are. And we keep getting almost every time we put someone up to do estes, someone will go, it sounds like a man and a woman talking to each other. It was a man and a woman talking to each other in this room,
So?
but they never talk to us. They'll be arguing with each other.
Yes.
Or it sounds like the man won't let the woman speak to us, but they never
Friendship.
talk to us. So that's one of the joys of Estes too, is kind of digging through it.
Hi.
Like, is it gibberish? Is it intelligent? Or is it just a scratch on a record? Is it that residual?
Little.
Um,
People stand.
She did just stand up. Okay, are you trying to prove me wrong? Is someone back? Is someone speaking to us?
30. Bishop. Make. Sculpt. Sit.
We're all sitting now.
Jeff, look.
Is there somebody here that still wants to talk to us tonight?
Someone saw.
I kind of believe someone's here. Do you happen? Did someone step back in the room to talk to us?
Is it?
Here.
Yeah. Chloe's
Is it here?
Chloe's listening for you now.
Philip.
Hello. You still
Oh
here?
my god, I was gonna ask if Philip was still here.
Touching that meter? It's going crazy. Good job. Good job.
Philip.
Hi, Philip. Can you step away from that meter so it stops going off for just a moment? Thank you.
Are you?
Am I what?
4.
Are you for or against? I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna say it right here. Can you come back and touch the meter again? Can you make it light up again? Can you touch that green light again?
Got it?
All right. Can you make it light up? Please? Oh. The other one went. Can you touch the one that's in my hand?
It sounds like a man grunting.
Is it taking a lot of energy for you to touch it? To make it light up?
Let's go.
Where should we go? Philip? Oh.
Drop. I.
You did? Wow. Philip, how did you make it increase and decrease at the same time in temperature?
Take.
Are you taking energy from that?
Pickles?
Beast. Philip? Can you come back and touch the screen light again, please?
Liam. Don't. Liam.
Who's Liam?
I hear someone screaming.
Who's screaming?
Just listen. Philip. The what? Dollar.
Fingers I'm holding up. We'll keep talking.
Philip.
If not, I'm gonna tap Chloe out. 9,
Wait for it.
8, 7, 6,
More people screaming.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chloe! Chloe! Chloe!